is your test review. So what we're doing is we have to describe the transformation from ABC to A prime, B prime, and C prime. This is not a rotation. It's not a translation. Translation is shift, shift. Rotation spins, which most people think this is. This is actually a reflection across the line y equals x. But if you can't figure out that it is a reflection across y equals x because it's a diagonal line, it's not a big deal. The easiest way to go about this problem is to pick a point. So if I look at A, the original A without the prime is 1, 2, 3, -3, +2. If I compare that point to A prime is at 2, -3. If I look comparing A to A prime, the coordinate points, all they do is switch their places. Same thing with B. B was 0, 1. B prime is now 1, 0. So once again, to go from the old to the new, the pre to the image, all it does is switch its place. So to write the rule, your x and y change to become y, x, and that's it. For number 2, you're given a reflection and you have to write the equation for the line. The reason why it's x equals a number is because it is flipping from side to side. If it was y equals, it would start up here and then flip underneath itself, or start beneath it and flip above itself. So in this case, my line of reflection is between the two triangles. And then I just have to figure out what number that's actually at. So if this is 0, 0, and I go to the left 1 and I go to left 2, this value would be x equals -2, which is a perfectly vertical line going through my graph. For the third one, it says AB has endpoints, this and this. It's rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. So if I'm going 90 degrees clockwise, the rule for this is I'm taking my coordinate point x and y, and I'm changing it to be y, -x. So I have to do that with both coordinate points. So if I start with A was -3, 2. My original B is 3, 8. I have to think about this as 2 steps. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the coordinate. So I'm going to flip it to make 2, -3. And then this symbol in the back must change. So I need to flip that sign. The sign in the back was negative, so now it is positive. B prime, same thing. I'm going to flip it to start. So just flip the coordinate 8, 3. Same thing. This back number is changing. So this now becomes negative. So my coordinates, my answers are 2, 3, and then 8, -3. The last question on the front page says, which transformation will map triangle GTB to G prime, T prime, B prime? So I'm going from B to B prime, G to G prime, T to T prime. So I have to decide, did it reflect across the x-axis? Is it a mirror image of itself? No. Did it reflect over the x-axis? Is it a mirror image of itself? No. Translate left, translate right, and then I'm either going up or down. So the most important part is that I'm going from my original, which is over here, and I'm translating to the new image. The new image is your prime. So this is how people are getting it wrong, is like, you need to look for your prime. So I'm going from here to here. So I'm going to the right, and then I'm going up. So if I go to the right and then I go up, that's going to be D for the answer. The next one gives us rectangles and it gives us the pictures already done. So it says rectangle ABC has 4 vertices, A, B, C, D. It's rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. And then I'm also reflecting across the x-axis. So you don't even have to use every single point. I'm just going to use one point. So if I talk about A, my original A is at 1, 5, because that's what it says in the problem. The first thing I'm going to do is 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I'm going to the left. So I'm taking my coordinate, whatever it is, and I'm changing it to negative y x. So that's going to be the first transformation. So I'm going to switch the coordinate and then I'm going to flip the sign in the front. So I'm going to flip it 5, 1, and then the front symbol is changing. So instead of positive 5, it is now negative. The second transformation I have to do is reflecting across the x-axis. I can either use one of the graphs to help me, negative 5, 1, and figure out where it's going to go if I reflect it across the x-axis, or I can use the rule. For my reflection, I'm taking my x and my y, whatever it is, and I'm changing it to x, negative y. So my new coordinate point I'm using is negative 5, 1. I'm not using the original because this is 2 transformations. So I'm using this coordinate I just made, and now I'm changing it. X is staying the same. Y is changing its sign. So if I look at all these graphs, I need A double prime to end up at the coordinate negative 5, negative 1. Negative 5, negative 1, negative 5, negative 1, negative 5, negative 1, negative 5, negative 1. So D is the correct answer. For the next one, we have a quadrilateral ABCD. It has these vertices. If I'm going 90 degrees counterclockwise, I need to determine the coordinates of D specifically. So I don't even care about the rest of them. 90 degrees counterclockwise, I'm taking my X and my Y, whatever it is, and I'm changing it to negative Y X. So if I take D, D's original point, the pre-image is negative 3, negative 1. And now I need to change it. The first thing I'm going to do is flip the coordinate. I'm going to flip it. And then I need to change the symbol in the front. The front says negative, so I'm changing the sign. If negative 1 was already negative, now it is positive. So D prime's coordinate is 1, negative 3. The next problem wants to know how to get A, B, C, D onto image LMNP. So this is my pre-image. This is the original. I'm trying to map A, B, C, D onto that other figure. So if I'm going from here to here, a rotation is going to spin your graph. A reflection is a mirror image. So it's like reflecting like a mirror. This one is just shifting. This is the easiest one. This is the one that most people like. For every single point, I'm going right 4, up 3, right 4, up 3, right 4, up 3, right 4, up 3. So this is a translation, just shifting left and right, up and down. The last side, this one is giving you a table, and then you have some chairs. And what I basically need to do is I need to figure out the rule that would represent me getting to the dashed side chair. So I'm going to take this one and I'm trying to translate it to the dashed. So I have to figure out how am I going to get from here to here. So I'm going to the right and then I'm going down, because I'm going to the dashed. So this is the pre-image. This is my final answer image. This is going to the right and it's going down. So I need to pick a equation to fill into this blank that would represent this transformation. If I'm going to the right, this is positive. If I'm going down, it is minus. So automatically I know it's between the bottom two. I just need to make sure my numbers are in the right places. So I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going down 1. So I'm adding 5, and then I'm going down 1. So that's going to be C for my answer. And if you want, you can write this in here. You don't have to, you just circle C. A lot of people got this one correct, but there was a good portion that got it wrong. And it's only because people want to automatically read a sentence left to right. So they want to read a graph from left to right. And they're like, I'm going from here to here. So I'm going to the right 3 units. So they put 3 to the right. But if you look, you're going from X to X prime. X represents the pre-image, and you are changing it to go to the image, which is the answer. So I'm going from here to here. So I'm actually going to the left 3 units. The last problem gives you coordinate points, and you need to complete 2 transformations on these coordinate points. So if I start by just writing them out, R is 1, -4, S is 6, -4, T is 5, -1. The first thing I need to do is I need to translate it 2 to the right, and then I will reflect across the x-axis. So if I'm going 2 to the right, this is your x, because x is shifting side to side. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is take my x, I'm going to add 2 because it's to the right. Y is not changing at all. So the first transformation, I'm going to take x, add 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Y, nothing happens, so it stays the same. For S prime, I'm going to take my x, add 2, so that makes 8. Y, nothing happens. T prime, same thing. I'm going to add 2 to make 7. Y stays exactly the same. So that represents the first transformation, which is translating 2 to the right. The next part that we have to do is across the x-axis. So if I reflect across the x-axis, the rule for this is that x does not change. Y flips its sign. I'm not going to use the original coordinate points. I'm using the points I just made, and I'm now reflecting it because it's 2 transformations in one problem. So this is why we're going to call it R double prime, because it represents the second transformation. So I'm not flipping it. So I'm just going to rewrite it 3, -4, S double prime 8, -4. I'm not flipping them. 7, -1. But what I do need to do is I need to change this back sign. So all the numbers in the back will change their sign, meaning if it was negative, now it's positive. If it's positive, now it's negative. So all of these luckily were negative. So now they're just all becoming positive. So in my final answer, all of the coordinate points end up positive, which is really nice. So R prime is going to be 3, 4. S prime is 8, 4. T prime is 7, 1. Hopefully this helps.